Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, the Turnbuckle Affiliation Program and CBRS Entertainment proudly bring to you the Wednesday PlayStation Showcase. I am OMD, joined as always by the guy on the console tonight, Mr. Chris Best. How we doing, my friend?
I am a little bit stressed out after today. Just a lot of things that did not go my way today. For instance, I have to go for daily nursing appointments for medical reasons that I do not wish to disclose to the public. OMD, but you know what I'm talking about.
Yep.
After which, so when I do these appointments, I usually go down and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna make like a list of other things maybe I'll go and do and check out or something. And I decided I wanted to go and see if I can get my phone repaired because the power button on it fell off. But the repair costs, with how much it costs to repair it, I might as well have gotten a new phone.
Right.
I was quoted $130 just to repair a power button, which I've seen online for the part. It's only $4.
Right.
So then I'm like, okay, well, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to suck it up and maybe order the part myself and maybe do the self repair or find somebody who knows how to do it themselves for a cheaper cost. It's either that or I'm going to wait till maybe January and get the Pixel 9, which I found out I qualify for that phone. So,
right.
And then on top of that, I'm like, okay, you know what? I need to do a little bit of treating myself. And I have a couple of prizes that I won from Circle K.
Right.
Because they're doing a 31 an advent calendar where you every day you do like a scratch and win on your phone, and you win that corresponding prize. So today I thought I won a free pack of candy until I got into the store and I looked. No, I won a coupon for $2 of candy. But on the other hand, I had a prize from the day before for a free hot beverage. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to treat myself to a French vanilla. I haven't had French vanilla in over a year, and it's one of my favorite hot drinks.
Right.
So I went ahead and got me that, and the thing wouldn't scan. And you could tell that the guy at the cash was getting annoyed because they have to scan the prize on your phone in order for it to register. The guy was getting annoyed that it wasn't scanning, and he's like, you know what? I know you've got the prize. I see it there. Take it.
Yep.
I'm like, okay. So I got a free French vanilla out of it. But then I get home, my knees and everything. I'm just dog tired, right? And you know how big my building is.
Yep.
And it's efficient to take my elevator. Well,
yep.
The elevator's busted. So now I had to go up 5 flights of stairs just to get home.
Oh,
and it was just hell on my knees. So I've been just sitting here trying to chill and relax. But no, my cats wouldn't let me do that because I came home, I decided to give them treats, and Pepper decides she wants to bully Charlie out of his treats.
Right.
So I'm like, nope. I shoved her away because she scarfed all hers down before Charlie even finished his, you know?
Right.
So I'm like, nope, shoved her out of the way. She kept wanting to go back, shoved her out of the way, and she's like, she kept wanting to come back. Nope, gave her a little pat on the bum, and that was it. She knew Dad was pissed.
Yep.
And now she's over here, you know, kind of begging for forgiveness, as it were.
Yep.
But yeah, today's game, as you can see, for anybody who knows the game, we are looking at the Buster Sword, which is the very first sword you start off with in this game. And I'm talking about Final Fantasy VII. Perfect. We're going to start off with...
Yep, sorry? I was going to say, this is a game I don't know anything about, other than that it's part of a huge series.
16 games in the main line of the series. Right. There's really like 30 games altogether.
Wow. And again, I mean, we all know it's just not my taste.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to knock the game. So I'm anxious to actually see it. I know I watched. Oh God, we got to go back to probably 98, 99. The last time I watched somebody actually play, and I can't remember which Final Fantasy game they were playing at that point.
That might have been me or Tim at camp because we used to play this game a lot at camp as well.
No, this wasn't at camp. I wasn't out there at the time. I was going through some strife with my family, so I was staying with a friend and they were playing.
But yeah, we've got Bulkster coming in saying hi guys. How's it going, Bulkster? Glad to have you here. We're playing the classic Final Fantasy VII. There is a remake. I'm gonna tell you how many games there are in the Final Fantasy VII lore itself, because there is Final Fantasy VII itself. Then there was a sequel movie called Advent Children.
Okay, yes, I remember that.
Then there's Final Fantasy VII Dirge of Cerberus, which came out on the PS2, I believe. Then there's 2 mobile titles. I can't remember the names of those ones.
Wow.
Then there's a game that we actually showcased on the PlayStation Showcase before Final Fantasy VII before Crisis Core.
Okay.
And then there's Final Fantasy VII Before Crisis. So there's 7 games in this series alone, like in this game's world. Each Final Fantasy has its own world.
Wow. Is it the same or similar characters in each Final Fantasy game and then just different worlds? Or is it all new characters, all new lore for each?
You're talking about just in the mainline Final Fantasies, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's each game is its own story. There's a different lore, different world. So there's no you don't need to say you want to play Final Fantasy VII, for instance. You don't need to play the first 6 to understand 7.
Right. Now, is it the same characters though, or is it different characters for each?
Well, there's something a little bit interesting about that. There is same name characters. For instance. This character is not one of them. This character is Aerith. She is one of the main characters in the story we're looking at right now. For instance, there's in each game there's a character usually by the name of Sid, and he's usually like the engineer or something like that. You know, he'll repair weapons, or he gives you an airship or something like that in the game.
Right.
So there's loose tie-ins to each game, but they're not really tied together to each story.
Okay.
They'll have some of the same creatures too. There's later on in this game, we're probably not going to see it in this one, but later on in these games, you get what is called the Chocobo. Terry, Sid, Biggs, and Wedge. Biggs and Wedge are usually characters who are villains, but in this game, they're not. They're friends of yours. But there's also creatures that usually appear in every Final Fantasy that are the same, such as these creatures called chocobos. And the chocobos are like these big chicken things that you ride like horses.
Okay.
They're very, very helpful if you need to escape certain situations.
Okay.
So, again, we're looking at some very cheap and cheesy graphics here, but this is what 1997 gave us.
Right.
So, this guy here... Go ahead.
I did hear great things about the remake, but I also understand that the remake is broken up into 3 different parts.
Yeah, and that sort of represents what this game is, because when this game came out, it was 3 discs for one game.
Right.
But it's a little bit different because the first game in the remake takes place in what is essentially probably going to be the first hour that we're going to show in this game, which is the entire town of city of Midgard. This is the name of the city that you start off in, and we're looking at our first battle. We don't know who this character's name is yet, but I do. His name is Cloud. He's your main character. He is a former soldier for this evil corporation called Shinra. And right now, what we're trying to do is we're shutting down these reactors because these reactors are destroying the planet.
Right.
And Cloud here has joined up with a group that the evil corporation Shinra considers terrorists, but they're not really terrorists.
Right.
Yeah, and again, Terry with the creatures that usually appear in Final Fantasies with the Marlboro Cactar, Behemoth, and there's also repeated summons: Ifrit, Shiva, Ramen. I'm gonna actually, I think I do get one of the summons in this hour, so I'll be able to showcase one of them maybe.
Okay.
So right now we're finding out that Soldier is usually the enemy. They are hired mercenaries, as it were. They're mercenaries for the Shinra Corporation.
Right.
And they're infused with this stuff called Mako. And Mako is basically the lifeblood of the earth. So that's why we're destroying these reactors. These reactors are they're called Mako reactors, and they drain Mako from the planet. And as I said, Mako is what's needed to keep the earth going.
Okay.
So right now it's giving me the option that I can change my name. Sometimes I do, but this time around I'm not. I kind of like keeping the original names of the players these days.
Right.
Or of the characters, I should say. And yeah, Cloud's a bit of like an I don't give a shit, I'm gonna do the job kind of character.
Right.
So he just basically said everybody was trying to give out their names, and he's like, I don't really care who your names are right now. This big black dude that ran up, his name is Barrett. He's got a gun for an arm.
Okay.
And it's he's pretty badass if you level him up correctly.
Okay.
Our target's the North Mako reactor. We'll meet at the bridge in front of it. Yeah, so there's a little bit of distrust between Barrett and Cloud, but they do essentially become like best friends throughout the game.
Right.
Because at this moment right now, Cloud's just in it for the money.
Right.
He's just trying to make ends meet, as it were.
Right.
And I've got it muted because all that plays here is music from the game, and I don't want to get copyright stricken by Square.
Right.
So this dog creature and this grunt here, they're pretty easy to beat. I don't need to use anything magic related. Or do I have anything magic? I do have some magic, okay. The only thing that sometimes can be a bore for people who aren't into these RPG games is waiting for your turn to come up to attack.
Yeah,
But
and I think that's one of the things that sort of does take away from the game for me. Plus, as well, I've never understood, magic and runes and rhinestones and all that sort of stuff. And what feels like turn-based just isn't my style.
It is. There is a bit of turn-based, but this is more of active turn-based. That's what they call it.
Right.
So, like, what that means is that, like, you can be planning you can plan your attacks, but at the same time, you have to pay attention to what your enemies are doing, because your enemies can attack while you're making your decision on what to do. So you got to be a little bit quick on the ball with that,
Right.
This is your first time in a reactor.
And our friend the Bulkster says he's playing Lego DC Supervillains.
I got to look into that game. I've got a few Lego games that I want to look into. Actually, I've got a game for next week that I'm looking into as well.
Nice.
A
I
game
am.
that sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say I was gonna say the game I'm looking into is a game that came out on PlayStation 2. And it's a game that plays a lot like The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time.
Okay.
I'm looking into maybe doing Dark Cloud next week.
Okay. Again, a game I'm not familiar with.
I'm
Never
not
played
familiar.
Zelda.
I'm not familiar with it either, but I've played Zelda, so I've only seen like my brother play the game because he had it on his PS2.
Right. Now, as we know, you are supposed to be joining me tomorrow night on the Boar's Nest.
Mhm.
Because Bubba is supposed to be working, but we just don't know right now because of the weather here.
Yeah. And by the way, I'm very glad that I picked this game to play tonight. This game is my go-to game when it's storming out. It's just
right,
it's one of those games where I will have my special stuff and just play for a couple of hours.
right. But tomorrow night we were looking at I was either gonna do Stalker 2 or Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge, which for whatever reason the last 2 nights Bubba and I have not been able to party up in the game, which is really, really weird.
Have you tried creating the party yourself and then have him join?
Yeah. And every time I go to hit party up, I get this like login external error and
Okay, so this is another game, man, where you got to explore everything. So yeah, I'm supposed to be doing storyline stuff, but you got to go and check other rooms for treasures and things like that before you continue with the story. And what I
right,
just picked up is called a Phoenix Down. A Phoenix Down revives you and your enemy or your teammates if they get KO'd. And I say KO'd because they're not dead. They don't die until everybody gets KO'd.
right. So we are gonna probably do Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge tomorrow.
I wish I could join you guys because we even tried to get me in the party, but that just
we did. We did. Because I'm actually at level 12. I believe Bubba's actually now on level 11. And I'm just having a very hard time getting past the boss on level 12.
I can't remember what level I'm at. I think I was like level 15 or something like that. It was one of those games when I first started to play where it was like I just went nuts for like 3 hours playing it.
Right.
So right now Barrett is explaining like exactly what I had explained about what Mako does to the planet, what these reactors are doing to the planet, I should say. And Cloud is, again, like I said, the only thing he cares about is finishing the job and getting paid to do the job. So at this point, Cloud's like, I don't give a shit. I want to do the job, you know?
Right.
But through character development later on in the game, he's like, he starts to care, you know?
Right.
You know, for 1997, though, these graphics still blow my mind.
Right.
Now, granted, this is a bit of a remastered version, but all they did was just give it a fresh coat of paint, essentially, for this one.
Right.
I do have the remake, and maybe one day I will showcase the remake so that I can show you the differences between the game.
Right.
Maybe next week that's what we do is show the remake.
Okay. Yeah, again, like I'm not sure if it's available for me, but I mean, again, not my style, but who knows? Maybe the remake is more up to my style.
The remake is more action oriented as far as the battles go.
Right.
You will actually be able to like see the enemies and be able to pick and choose how you want to approach the enemies and attack them.
Okay.
But again, I'm doing this because this month is the 30 years of PlayStation. And I
Right.
thought, what better way to showcase the top selling game for the PlayStation 1, which was Final Fantasy VII.
Right. Come the new year, as you already know, there is a very special gift going under the tree, so we will be able to showcase another console on the Boar's Nest.
Ooh.
And we are going to be able to potentially play some classic games, even before the PS1.
See, and that's why I want to get that console too, because I have a series idea in my mind that I want to do.
Right. And there are some games on there that I cannot wait to relive my past with them.
Oh, and by the way, I did look deep into it because I know you were showing some concerns about streaming this console to Twitch. You're
Yep.
totally in the clear. You can do it.
Really?
Yeah.
Hmm.
I did a very deep look into it to make sure of
Right.
everything because I wanted to make sure for myself as well. Because as I said, I intend on getting one as well.
Right.
But I don't intend to necessarily get what you're getting. I'm looking at buying an emulator console.
Right.
That way, so I can do my series. The series I have planned is a show called that I'm thinking about doing is a show called The Games That Made Me. And it's going to
Right.
showcase Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis, the game systems I grew up playing, Game Boy Color,
Right.
PS1, PS2, and
Well,
maybe PS3, but PS3 I'm already kind of showcasing that on Saturday Night Gaming with the games
right.
that I enjoyed there, you know?
Right. Well, I know I was actually looking because, as you know, I have $25 on my Microsoft account from earning points. I got a $25 gift card. So I want to go and, I'm trying to find games to play.
Okay. So right now, this guy that I'm taking on here, he's a robot. So I'm going to show you a quick way to beat him up. And that's using your lightning attack. Defeats him in one
Okay.
shot.
Nice. But
Well, two shots. Barrett took a hit too.
I did find on the Xbox a classic series that is cheap or reasonably priced, I should say.
What's that?
But I'm going to download it on the Xbox in my room, and that is the Mega Man Legacy Collection.
Oh, I've got that. I actually was playing some Mega Man 1 the other day, and I had to go through the Cutman level for the next one. I've got 3 bosses beaten already, and I don't know where I need to go next. So I need to use strategy guide to figure out where to go next.
Right.
I just reached a save point, so I'm going to show you how the save works.
Yes, Bulkster, I do have Game Pass. I do have Game Pass, and I have the Game Pass Ultimate with EA Play.
So right now we're looking at the save screen here. I've got 2 games already on the go. My level 62 one, I don't remember what I was doing in that game, but in that one, my level 99, this is the one that I think I remember telling you a couple months ago that I was working on beating. I'm still trying to do it. I'm trying to get everybody to level 99 before I get to the final boss, and I'm at the point where I can go fight the final boss.
Right.
So we're going to save right here so that I have something else to back up to if I want to go into real classic thing, if I want to go back and play again. But this area here, there's a bit of an insane story that I saw when we were talking about leveling up my guys who are at their maximum level of 99. Right. There was a dude that I saw, and he actually recorded the entire time he did it. There's a guy who played leveled up his characters which is Barrett and Cloud right now, to level 99 just by playing in this area.
Wow.
It took him a long fucking time, almost like 2 years to do
I
it.
would imagine.
Whereas where I'm at, a couple of weeks it takes me to level up guys.
Right.
And that's massive grinding here. Okay, so I just picked up what is called Materia. Materia is your magic. I picked up the Restore, which is a cure one. I can't use it just yet because I don't have access to the Materia menu. But soon enough, I will have that access. It's just I have to go through the tutorial part for that. So when we're going to be blowing up this place, I got to set a bomb. Shouldn't you do it? Just do it. We got nothing to make sure you don't pull nothing. Fine, I'll do it.
Well, Bulkster, I appreciate that, and I can assure you that it is downloaded and ready to go. It actually had to install an update tonight, but tonight is about the PlayStation Showcase, so we can save the Xbox talk for the Boar's Nest tomorrow.
It's video game talk. That's the way I look at it. Because I'm intrigued with this Indiana Jones game myself. Right now, what's going on with Cloud, why we got this red screen is he's hearing voices, and I'm not talking Randy Orton.
Right.
It's a little bit more explanatory in the remake, actually, what's going on with Cloud.
Okay. Well, as you referred to Randy Orton, I must let you know that I do have my bobblehead now sitting at my desk.
Nice.
And him want title match. Believe it or not, I found that a couple of years ago at Value Village for $5.
Dude, I used to find some real hidden wrestling gems at Value Village. Value Village used to be my go-to for collecting some really rare like VHS tapes of wrestling.
Right? No, I found that, and I found a Dwayne, and I gave the Dwayne to one of my dear friends because she just loves him.
Yeah.
She even offered to let me use her Twitter for something, and I'm like, you really want me to go on there and run Dwayne down on your Twitter?
Okay, so right now we have our first boss fight.
I see that. I am intrigued.
So what we have to do is, you see the tail behind him?
Yep.
We have to watch for that, for that to perk up. If it perks up, we are not to attack because he will unleash a powerful attack on us. Okay, so Cloud has now also got his limit break, which is called Braver. There's actually 8 limit breaks throughout the game that you get, but this is the starter one, and I'll show you it here in just a moment. Couldn't really see it, but he jumps up and gives like a big, huge slice to his opponent.
Right.
The limit break is those red bars at the front that you see before the yellow ones. The yellow one. So Barrett has his now. So he's got big shot, and this is where he just blows off like a big bullet at you, and it does a considerable amount of damage. Right. However, I do need to cure because I'm not happy with how low. So see, the tail's up now. We gotta. Yeah. If we attack now, it will counterattack. So right now is the perfect time to cure your guys. And defend because he's going to. I could show you what he does do or attack him with magic. Okay, his tail has gone down. So now we can go back and attack him. In the remake, though, this dude is insanely hard to fight.
Really?
Yeah. And he doesn't show up until about 3, maybe 4 hours into the game.
Wow. Now, and I do have to ask, if I was to play this game, if it's available on the Xbox, and I'm talking the remake, do we know if it is actually multiplayer or if it's still single player?
Single player. Oh, I beat him. I didn't think I was going to beat him that fast. But that's the first boss fight in this game.
Okay.
Okay, so Barrett has got himself a new weapon out of that fight.
Nice.
So what you do after that? Oh, 10 minutes. Okay. Yeah, I was going to say what you do after the fight is you want to go ahead and equip him, but 10 minutes is really not a lot of time to get out of here. So all you got to do is you run.
Right.
You do have time. If you do encounter enemies, you do have time to fight some of them, depending on which ones appear. Like these guys here, I can take them out.
Right.
As you can see, they're pretty weak with 5 hit points being taken out. Yeah, see, 1 hit and he was dead.
Yeah.
Or sorry, 2 hits.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that Barrett had hit the other guy first. I'm leveling up quite quickly, but eventually it does slow down.
Right.
The difference between this though in the remake though is one of the only ways to grind is just strictly fighting, and for some that does get tedious.
Right.
But in the remake, if you want to grind and level up your dudes, side quests are the way to go.
Okay.
Because side quests will definitely help you get your
Right.
experience points up, better weapons, more money, everything like that. And there are side quests in this game. You kind of have to find them for yourself, though. They're not just like marked on a map for you to go to, you know?
Right.
Okay, so we got to climb up this ladder, blah, blah, blah. Then you see your friend Jessie. She's stuck here, so you help her out.
Right.
Okay, so now we're going to run up here. Sometimes it's a little hard to see where you are because of the camera position.
Right.
But if you just see a little blonde guy running, that's you.
Right. So
in the remake, it's not like this, though. The remake, it's more like you actually get the view behind Cloud.
Right. I was going to say, like, I know we get so used to modern technology, I guess, with this, and you can control the camera and the panning view. And do you have that in this game, or is it just, when you have to sort of watch what you're...
When you actually leave the city and you actually go out into the main world, you do have access to your camera. I see something over here that I don't think I've checked out. I want to check it out right quickly. Okay, I was just curious about that. I thought that was a door, so I thought I'd go and take a look.
Right.
I've never even bothered to see what happens if you stick around for the 10 minutes to see, out of curiosity. I'm pretty sure the reactor blows up and you die while in it. So,
right.
So now at this point, you got to talk to your friends, and they will go and push the button for you to get out. You know, I was thinking too. One of these days, we should do like a month where it's just Final Fantasy, and I can show you some of my favorite Final Fantasy games because I've got almost every single one of them.
Right. Even if you want to show some of your favorite Final Fantasy moments and spots in the games.
Mm-hmm. And I say I've got almost every single one of them. I'm missing the first 5 and Final Fantasy 16.
Okay.
Oh, and 11, but I can't really afford 11 because Final Fantasy 11 is online only, and there's a monthly subscription that's still at like $25 a month.
Right.
And that game's over 20 years old. Do you think it would have been free to play by now? But
right. And boom goes the dynamite.
Yep. That should keep the planet going at least a little longer. Okay, so now we're just trying to blow a hole so that we can escape. And one guy burned his ass trying to get out. A lot of people are probably, if they were to play this game nowadays, though, they probably wouldn't be a fan of the blocky looking characters. But to me, this is nostalgia, and I love it. I think you're muted, brother.
Oh, I was. Uh-huh.
Okay, so now I'm sort of free to do what I please. I say sort of because it's still a bit linear what I need to do.
Right.
So this is I don't know her name again yet in the game, but this is Aerith. She's a very, very integral part to the entire story of the game.
Okay.
So because we're probably not even going to explore her part of the story during this, she's what is called an ancient, and she's the last remaining one. She's the only one on this planet who has access to communicating with the Earth, with the Mako, with something that is called the life stream. And Shinra is actually after her because of her powers. She's got like mystical powers, we'll say,
right,
to communicate with the planet. So I'm gonna buy a flower off of her just to showcase that I'm friendly to her. And that's based off of when you run into her again later on in the game, she's going to remember you for doing that, you know?
Right.
That's the other thing about these older games too is sometimes you can't see if you're running into something, and I just picked up a potion there. It's funny though as I'm playing this game, I'm using the left joystick. When this game came out, you had to use the D-pad to move around.
Right.
And now that they've incorporated using the left joystick, I cannot see myself going back to using the D-pad on this game.
Right.
Okay, so Shinra soldiers are after me, and I'm supposed to run. Because if you fight them, they're going to keep going after you and just keep on going. So if you keep running, it moves you just right to the next part of the story.
Right.
Which is me jumping onto a moving train. Now, in the remake, too, we don't see dialogue boxes like this one.
Right.
The characters actually do talk in that one.
Right.
And this is, of course, the reason why they don't have voices. They didn't have voices until Final Fantasy X on the PS1, PS2. And that's only because of the limitations that the PS1 had.
Right.
See, do you think? Yeah, they're all wondering if I'm going to join. Their group's name is called Avalanche, by the way. That's the group that everybody can the Shinra Corporation are trying to convince everybody else in this world are terrorists when they're not really. Granted, we just did do some terroristic activities.
Yes, you did. In the game, ladies and gentlemen, not in real life.
Yeah. So at this point, Cloud has managed to find his way back to the group. So basically, Barrett just said because you spooked the shit out of him and everybody thought you were dead, your pay just got cut, essentially.
Oh, Jesus.
Ooh. Yeah, Terry's coming in with some big PlayStation news. PS Portal got an update that anyone that has PS Plus premium subscription can do cloud gaming without the PS5. Yeah, that's the latest update, and it's fucking cool. Because initially it was to screen share the PS5 anywhere on your network, but now you can take it anywhere. Yeah, so the PlayStation Portal is like the PS5's handheld system, which now means, as Terry had explained, if you have if you had the PS Plus premium subscription like I do, I can get a PS Portal if I wanted to and play anywhere in the world. So like I can literally hop a plane to London, England.
Yep.
And play my PS5 games while I'm on the go. But I still want to get myself the PS5, which I saw that they took a price drop recently. So
they did. They've taken the it was the Black Friday, Cyber Monday price drop.
No, there's an official price drop too. They dropped it $100.
Oh, really? Nice.
Yeah.
I know it's funny because now Xbox, like you have the Series X and XS, and so I have the Series S, which
Mhm.
is digital. Now you can get the Series X with a 1 terabyte digital that is $100 cheaper than the Series X that takes discs.
Nice. See, that's the other thing I don't know about. That's the one thing I don't know about the PS5 is if I want to get the disc version or do I just want to get the digital version? And I'm leaning towards the disc version because I'm thinking along the lines of what if a developer decides they want to make a game that's only going to come out on disc?
Right.
Because think of it this way, that's how PlayStation that's how Steam started. That's how the PlayStation store started. With that, it started with mostly developers being like, "Hey, you can only get this game on download."
Right.
What am I? Oh, I'm supposed to go talk to Barrett first. I'm confused. Okay, never mind. I was supposed to go talk to Jesse. I was just standing in the wrong spot.
Yes,
She's gonna.
Xbox does offer cloud gaming as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I've sort of debated on if I want to try and get one of those controller things for my phone to try and do it.
Oh yeah, so you can take your Xbox games on the go if you wanted to.
Yeah.
So what Jesse is going to be explaining here is the train system and how we have these ID cards that will track people who are not supposed to be riding the train because we're not supposed to be on this train.
Okay.
The train is typically meant for people who legally can work in Midgar, but we
Right.
have these fake IDs, as it were, and they have these ID scans that that you ride through every 3 minutes. I think she'll say,
Okay.
and you have to avoid these ID scanners when you're on the train. It's a little bit more in depth than most PS1 games have been known to be. And now she's explaining about how there's 8 reactors in total. We only blow up 2 in the game before they kick us out of Midgar.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, she's explaining the route of the train and how it goes around the main pillar. Because what the city the city is actually sitting on a giant plate.
Right.
And where we're headed towards the slums, which is a collection of towns and villages that are underneath the plate that don't get any sun, anything like that.
Okay.
Basically, think of Jamestown in our city.
Right.
And that's how shitty life is like for these characters.
Wow.
It's the place the cities and towns below the Midgar plate are basically made up of people who are they were looking to come to Midgar and to get their hopes and dreams to, land a good job, similar to like if you were to like move to Toronto or New York City or something like that,
Right.
Except New York City doesn't sit on a giant plate and you're not living under you won't be forced to live under the city for a cheaper rate. So the red flashing light, I apologize for anybody who's got epilepsy. Fair warning. I forgot to warn you guys on this one. This is the light that we're talking about. We've managed to successfully get through that checkpoint, but I think there's a point. I don't know if it's on this ride on the train or if it's the next time, because there's another time that you have to use the train. where they find out that you're using fake IDs and they try to chase you down.
Right.
There's a lot of story at the start of the game, of course, but that's just, of course, to introduce you and to let you know what's going on in this world, you know?
Right.
And I figured by doing this, starting off the game would probably be the better bet instead of jumping in where I'm at with level 99.
Right.
Because you would be totally lost on what's going on.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of swerves and a lot of things that take you off the beaten path as far as the story goes in this game, but it all ties together nicely, you know.
So it's all part of long-term storytelling, just like we're getting with WWE.
Exactly. Everything ties together to form one big story in this game. I'm speeding through these, but basically, he's explaining exactly what I explained to you about how the Mako reactors are destroying the planet, how it's up to them as Avalanche to try and stop those reactors. Barrett has a lot of anger in him, like he's got massive anger issues, but at the
Right.
same time, he cares for the people around him and he cares for
Right.
the planet. You know what I mean? That's why, fair warning for next week when we do the Final Fantasy VII remake. When Barrett talks, it feels like every 5 or 6 words he's dropping an F bomb or throwing an S bomb. You know.
Nice. All right.
So fair warning, there's going to be a bit of language in the next episode.
All right. We can live with that.
Yeah. So we're doing a breakdown of the mission here. And he wants us all to meet at the hideout. And this is the town that your characters live in. This is called the Sector 7 slums, which you can
Okay.
tell it does not look like a pleasant place to live.
No, it doesn't.
But I don't know what it is with Final Fantasy games and me like always wanting to go back to my hometown in the games when with my characters. I always feel that sense of like I belong here when I go back
Right.
to visiting my hometowns. So this place that we're at is called the Seventh Heaven. It's a bar. This little girl that just called Cloud Papa is not actually his daughter.
Right.
Her name is Marlene. She's a bit of a strange character too.
Oh, so kind of like us.
Yeah. And this woman here, this is Tifa, that walked up to talk to Cloud. She is Cloud's she's been like Cloud's best friend since they were children. Did you fight with Barrett? Yeah, we're gonna say I fought with him. Should have known. He's always pushing people around. Yeah, Tifa. Just call her that. Because again, I like keeping the characters' original names these days when it comes to playing these games.
Right.
Sometimes what I would do if I wanted to change the characters' names is I would just name them like my closest friends. So
Right.
there's a chance, OMD, that if I play a Final Fantasy, your name is probably going to appear in it.
I can live with that.
You definitely wouldn't be with the female characters, that's for sure.
All right.
Yeah, give it to Tifa because that gives her a fond memory for her to remember. Okay, so I think I gotta leave now, and then Barrett comes busting back in. Marlene is actually Barrett's daughter.
Ah.
And she's his daughter by adoption. There's a whole other story that happens later on. It's a little deep to go into at this point because we are approaching
Right.
that 1 hour mark. I'm
We
going to
are.
finish up this part of the story, and then we'll call it a day on this episode because there's more to it here. So Barrett wants to start a meeting, but Tifa wants to talk to me first. So how about something to drink? Give me something hard. Just a minute, I'll
Good.
make one for you. Yeah. In the game, she makes him a martini, basically.
Ah.
In the remake, I mean. And she's talking about how she's relieved that she made it safely. And Cloud's like, why are you caring all of a sudden? Because Tifa's she's a tough woman as well.
Right.
But she's got a heart of gold, especially when it comes to Cloud.
Oh, okay.
Basically, she's Tifa has a massive crush on Cloud.
Ah.
And
Okay.
Cloud is just impervious to it. Okay, so now I've got to go down and talk to Barrett about getting the pay. I'm gonna play actually right until the launch of the next mission, which is not too far off. So,
Okay. Yeah, sounds good.
yo, Cloud, there's something. Was there anyone from Soldier fighting us today? And no, there was not. You sound pretty sure. If there was anyone from Soldier, you wouldn't be standing here now. Basically, he's saying the people from Soldier are insanely tough, which they are.
Right.
Don't think you're bad just because you was in Soldier. Probably all the guys in Soldier are, like I just said, all the dudes in Soldier are tough dudes.
Right.
The main villain in this game is a former soldier, and he was considered the best one.
Right.
That's a character by the name of Sephiroth. You've actually seen him in our intro. He's the white
Okay.
hair. He's the white haired guy with the stare there.
Okay.
But don't forget that skinny ass. So now, yeah, I'm basically working for Avalanche at this point. Barrett wants me to officially start working for him at this point, is what he's saying.
Right.
And of course, I'm standing up to Barrett because, again, I don't give a shit. I'll work for
Right.
Avalanche, but I'm doing it for the money, not for the planet at this point.
Right.
But the one thing I don't remember, and I think it does get explained later on the game. I don't remember what made Cloud leave Soldier.
Okay.
Okay, so there's my step, and now Tifa's going to go into a story about our past. Okay, so I didn't quite join Avalanche yet. Tifa's now begging me to do it.
Right.
So I'm just like, yeah, I'm gonna leave off. You're just gonna walk right out, ignoring your childhood friend. How can you say that? Is what I'm gonna say. And I forgot about a promise that I made to her back when we were kids.
Right.
And we're gonna go into a flashback to when we were kids. Which showcases a little bit of the town that they grew up in, and it's a town called Nibelheim. It's a town that you're gonna, if you were to play this, you won't encounter till like way later on in the game.
Okay.
It's funny how fast, like I've played this game countless times over the last near 30 years that this game has been out.
Right.
But it's just so funny just how I remember the story, but it still grips me every time I go to play it, you know?
Right.
That's the beauty of games, man. If they make you want to come back and relive that adventure, then that game is well worth it, you know? So I'm talking about how Cloud's talking about how he's planning to leave Nibelheim at this point, and all the boys were planning to leave to go to Midgard. They all wanted to go and train to work in Soldier or do something with Shinra, which again, Shinra is this evil company that's overtaking the world and has their hands in on like literally everything going on with the planet.
Right.
Kind of like how some of the major corporations of the world are today, essentially.
Right.
But I'm different from them. Yeah, and we're talking about how hard it is to actually join Soldier because of it's just like joining the army, right? There's your recruiting, then their basic training, then there's actual your soldier training and I'm talking in the Canadian military. Then there's your specialty training that you want to go into for whichever field you want to go in as far as the military goes. Actually, in the army, training never stops. Let's just put it that way.
Right.
Probably won't.
Believe it or not, that's as in any job.
Yeah. Dude, I'll never forget when I was working at Walmart, right? I had just completed my cashier training. And then a week later, they're like, "We want you to go back and do more cashier training." I'm like, "But I just did it." And they're like, we know, but it's corporate and it's random selection, and your name was on the list. I'm like, okay. At least I got to go sit down for 2 hours and stare at a screen.
Right.
And didn't have to stand. At least the way I looked at it was like I got a 2-hour break. 3 hours if you want to count my lunch, because I it was on an 8-hour shift, and on 8-hour shifts at Walmart, you get a 1-hour lunch.
Nice.
And they still gave me my 15. So yeah, it was 3.5 hours total I had for a break that day, which was like the best work day possible.
Right.
Because you still get paid for your 15s. You don't get paid for the 1-hour lunch, though.
Right.
So now she's asking if I make it, am I going to be in the newspaper, blah, blah, blah. And now here comes the promise. She's like, hey, let's make a promise. If you get really famous and she's ever in trouble, Cloud will come and rescue her. If I'm ever in trouble, my hero will come and rescue me. I want to experience that at least once. And that's the promise that she's basically trying to use against Cloud to join Avalanche. So there's he promised to do it. Cloud's forgotten the promise. I'm not a hero and I'm not famous, so I can't keep our promise. That's his escape, escape from this. But he did get his childhood dream, joining Soldier.
That he did.
Mm-hmm. So come on, you've got to keep your promise. Now, Barrett, wait a sec. Big time soldier. And he's coming in with this pay, which is 1,500 gil. Gil is the money that you get in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, the currency. Thank you. That's the word I was trying to look for. And this is my pay. Don't make me laugh. And at this point, we've discovered Cloud will join in on the next mission, and that he'll do it for 3,000. And that is the start of the next mission.
All right. So with that being said, Mr. Best, why don't you show the people where they can watch us?
Yeah, just give me 2 seconds here. There it is. Take a look at what we've got right here for the Turnbuckle Affiliation Program.
Turnbuckle Studios and the Turnbuckle Affiliation Program bring you the week of streams. All times are in Eastern Time. Monday nights you get the Locker Room Breakdown at 7 p.m., followed by the Raw Patrol at 8 p.m. Tuesday brings you the flagship show, Turnbuckle Talk, at 8:05 p.m. Wednesday we play games with the PlayStation ShowCase at 8 p.m. Thursday we get a variety stream with the Boar's Nest at 8 p.m. Friday we game again with Unleashed, the Jessica Wilde story at 7 p.m. Following the game, join us for the SmackDown Security Detail at 8 p.m. The weekend brings you Saturday Night Gaming at 8 p.m. On Sunday be sure to catch the Chris Parrish podcast at 12:15 p.m. Be part of the shows and join the chat every day.
Yeah, that's all the fantastic programming we've got going on at the Turnbuckle Affiliation Program. With an additional programming note for the second week in a row, we are going to be doing a PLE patrol for NXT Deadline. I've already begun work on the intro. Speaking of which, OMD, I need to ask you something about that intro off stream. But what do you say we give out them old socials once OMD gets his stuff? Are you back with us?
I think I'm clear. I think I'm cleared.
All right, I think I'm clear. I think I'm clear. I think I'm clear. All right, OMD, where can the people find you?
People, you can find me at my Linktree, linktr.ee/OMDshow. Visually, you can catch me right back here tomorrow night on the Boar's Nest, potentially with Bubba Duke, and if not with Bubba Duke, with Mr. Best, or potentially with both of them. How about you, Mr. Best?
All right, you can definitely look for me at my Linktree, linktr.ee/Chris_best83. Potentially tomorrow I will be on the Boar's Nest, but you can definitely look for me Friday nights as we do the SmackDown Security Detail, where we're going to be taking a look at SmackDown's fallout from War Games. And on that note, OMD, what are those famous words that one Carl Carafel likes to go out on?
In those immortalized words, ladies and gentlemen, the world is a scary place. Take care of each other. From all of us here at the Turnbuckle Affiliation Program and CBRS Entertainment, good night, good luck. We out.